My name is Jerry. Welcome to Kill the Cast. Today we are going to be doing a brief, mini, small, spoiler-free review as much as possible of the new Puppet Master movie, The Littlest Reich. Now, I got to go to an early screening of it. It actually comes out in a little bit, like middle of August, for VOD. Now, and it'll be in some select theaters, unrated, uncut, I might add. But I got to see a special early screening put on by Fangoria and Full Moon Slaughterhouse at the Full Moon Cinema here in Nashville, Tennessee. So, with that being said, let's get into this. Now, first of all, I want to say Fangoria is coming back, and much like they did with earlier times where they had their hands in some horror movies, they're doing that again. But this time it's because the people who bought Fangoria, Cinestate, are a film production company. And from what I saw last night, I have full faith in them. Not only as a company, but as someone who wants to make really, really, really amazing horror movies. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, I have my phone because I have notes, because I just saw this last night, and there's a lot of names, and I want to make sure I don't mess anything up besides pronunciation, which I probably will do. So anyway, Puppet Master The Littlest Reich is directed by Sonny Laguna and Tommy Wicklund, and is written by S. Greg Soller, who you would know because he wrote and directed Bone Tomahawk and Brawl and Cell Block 99. Fun fact, the movie I saw, because it was a double feature, because Full Moon also usually shows two movies. The first one was actually put on by Music City Horror Podcast. Thumbs up to them for letting us watch Big Trouble in Little China, which also stars Kurt Russell, who is in Bone Tomahawk, which was written and directed by S. Craig Zoller, who is the one who wrote this film. Wow, okay, so let's get into Littlest Reich. Now, we follow recently divorced Edgar, who is played by Thomas Lennon, who works at a comic book store owned by his best friend Markowitz, played by Nelson Franklin. When Edgar moves back into his parents' house after the divorce, he not only finds a new girlfriend with Ashley, played by Jenny Pelicer. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's fantastic. But also a puppet in the box of his deceased brother's room. When the three decide to go to a convention celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Toulon murders, it's probably pronounced different. I'm not French, so I can't say it in the French way that they tell you to say it in the movie. Things take a turn for the worse when a string of puppet theft and murder hits the hotel. This movie is also starring the ever-amazing Barbara Crampton, who was in Reanimator, of course, and Charlene Neen, who you've seen in a bunch of comedies. Once you see her, you'll be like, oh, I know her. So, at our screening, we also had Rick Prince, who was a puppeteer on the movie, and got to do one of the big kills in the movie with one of the one of the people you will recognize. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to give away, but he also did many other good scenes. I bravo to him. He did a fantastic job. He was so nice at the Q&A last night in the movie. I hope to bring him on Kill the Cast to interview him fully. He has other horror movies coming out that involve practical effects with Cinestate coming out this year. So that'll be something I am definitely looking forward to. By the way, did y'all see Cass has joined me? Cass, say hi. Yeah, okay. You can go back to sleep. So on to the movie. Now, this movie is a no-holds-barred gore fest. Almost all practically. There's a little CGI, but it's mostly to like clean up poles and wires and stuff for the puppets. But anyway, it holds nothing back. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a scene, and trust me, you will know it when you see it, that you think, no way they're going to do that. And then they do that, and whoo, that is amazing. And the movie really surprised me with how good the dialogue was. The humor was on point and showed that the screenwriter knows what its audience wants to hear. Everything sounded realistic and natural. It almost had like a sitcom kind of dialogue. I really liked it. The acting is great. There's no bad acting that ever takes you out of the film. What acting needs to be serious is serious. What needs to be played for fun will play for fun. You know what I'm talking about, Cubby Bear. You'll know when you see the movie. So, all the puppets look amazing and the kill scenes are fantastic. The cool thing about this movie is that there are a bunch of puppets, including different variations of the same puppet. There are multiple versions of Blade in this movie, and it is fucking awesome. In fact, last night they had the full skull Blade puppet that was used in the movie, and I got to take a picture of it, and that picture is actually on Twitter. You'll see it in this video. It's also in the Facebook page, or in the Facebook group, and on the Facebook page. It was awesome. It's got some heft to it. It's really nice. So, but like I said, the characters are great. There's what character development we get is fantastic. It really lets you know the characters so much so that even the small characters, when they die, you care. You're like, oh man, really? I like that person. Everyone's very unique. It's also a very well shot movie. For an independent movie, it looks fantastic. But I guess he decided there was something on the floor he needed to get into. The movie looks beautiful. It is edited well. The pacing is great. The cinematography is wonderful. I can't speak any more highly of that. So, like I said, it really shows that Cinestate knows what they're doing. So it gives me full faith in the future movies they are working on. That the future Fangoria magazine that will be coming out, which is like $65 for 4 magazines a year, which sounds kind of expensive, but it's 100 pages, full color. And keep in mind, magazines are not what they used to. They can't be made as cheap anymore because not as many people buying it. You're doing this because you want to support horror. You want to support independent horror, and you want to support things that keep horror going more than just, us doing YouTube videos and podcasts. Things we can physically hold. I love physical things. I mean, look at all these Blu-rays. I don't need all these Blu-rays. I can watch a lot of these streaming. I don't necessarily need these, but the thing is that I want to support things like Horror Pack with, their movies. I want to support releases from Arrow Video. I want to support releases by who else we got? Where's I know I've got some Shout Factories in here. Here's Shout Factory. Halloween Collection, independent movies like Hatchet, things like Joe Lynch's Mayhem. I want to support independent horror. I want to support people who are putting horror in a physical thing that I can have, whether it's a magazine, a Blu-ray, a book. It's great watching the movies, but I want something more. I want to do more than just watch the movie. In fact, I hope Puppet Master: Littlest Reich gets a Blu-ray release with tons of special features, especially with the puppeteers. I want to know more about how they did this. I want to know more about the breakdowns. It was awesome hearing Rick talk last night, but I want to know more. That's why I want to have him on the podcast, because I want to know more about the making of, the working of puppets, doing all these practical effects. I mean, there are wonderful practical effects in the movie, and a lot of them are really, really well done, and I just want to know more. I highly recommend you go see Puppet Master: Littlest Reich, regardless of if you go see it in a select theater if it's playing near you, or you watch it VOD, or if you're like me and hoping they put out a Blu-ray release, because I will 100% buy Puppet Master: Littlest Reich on Blu-ray. Tell me where it is. I'll get $20. I'll throw it at you. Let's make this happen. Support Fangoria, because I want to see them do more. I want, especially after seeing this, if this is the quality of horror movies they're gonna make, sign me up. Please let me get more of this. In fact, I hope this Puppet Master movie does so well they get to do a sequel. I want to see more in the Puppet Master universe. In fact, I asked Rick, who worked on there, I was like, hey, what puppets would you want to see in the next one if you got to do it? And I said I would love to see the Leech Woman. He wants to see Six Shooter. He knows what he's talking about. Let's make this happen. So please support Puppet Master: Littlest Reich. Please support Fangoria. Please support Cinestate. Support anyone in your local area that's doing horror events. Like for me in the Nashville, Tennessee area, we've got Full Moon Cinema, who does a haunted house called Slaughterhouse. They do a horror and tattoo convention. I got this tattoo at the last one. I got this hat at that convention also. And support podcasts that are putting on events. Support independent horror. Support people in your horror community. The one thing everyone talks about when they talk about why horror is so great is they say the community is so great. It's a family-like community. That's 100% true. And I, with open arms, welcome Cinestate and what they're going to do with Fangoria into this world. So with that said, I'm going to drink some more tea. I think I'm going to go watch another Puppet Master movie. We reviewed Puppet Master, the first Puppet Master, on Kill the Cast. And I kind of want to watch more now. So I think I might watch the second and third one today. With that being said, y'all have a good day. Go see Puppet Master Littlest Reich. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me if you saw it. Tell me if you plan to see it. Tell me what your favorite Puppet Master is. Tell me what movie that is. Tell me what your favorite puppet is. And check us out on Facebook, Twitter. Check out the podcast on Podbean, iTunes, Legion Network Podcast, all of that good stuff. Cheers, guys. I'm out.
Warning. This motion picture is one of the most violent films ever made. There are 21 scenes of puppet violence and sadistic cruelty graphically shown. The content and subject matter may be upsetting for those under 18, those with weak hearts, and those of delicate nature.
This cellar workshop is where André Toulon manufactured puppets. It is unclear how many of these puppets were made, though 60 or so of them are expected to be in Postville by tomorrow for the auction.
That's not mine. I don't really know how that got here.
Maybe it walked.
Hello. Jesus. Well, you definitely seem like a toy that a maniac would make.
What the?
Why would anybody create a Nazi puppet?
They're little, they're fast. Anne Frank was hiding in your attic. Puppet could find her.
Don't ask, don't have.